everyone. Whoops, there's the music still playing. So we're here. Let me get my pretty garden picture out of the way. Well, I'll probably have to put it back up anyway, but that's right in the center. Some people will recognize echinacea. And, and then there's some marshmallow on either side of the echinacea. So I'll take that off so you can see our faces, or my face anyway. And
part of my face.
Patrick's
Hello.
face.
Welcome, everybody.
He just he just barely made it in the door. Excuse me. Figures I get a frog in my throat just in time.
She had frogs for dinner.
Yeah, I ate
I don't
frogs.
know why. She likes her food fresh.
Augusta. What's that?
Huh?
Oh, wait.
Augustifolia?
Okay. Why's that sound familiar?
Don't know.
No, Grizz.
Hello, Wee.
Hi, Lisa. So, again, I figure we'll just chat for a couple minutes and just give people time to get in here. I don't want to get too far ahead. I don't know that I have a lot to say about Marshmallow since I'm still pretty new to it and learning it all. But that's partly why I wanted to talk about it, because I'm really excited about how, I sure hope Justin remembers that we're all mine.
Why
So.
does everything, I think?
Well, it started out green and it's already going yellow and people are already saying it's buffering some. But again, I just figure that's kind of what's going to happen regardless. But you may want to go check just in case. Just keep in mind the dogs will probably go ballistic when you open the door. Hi, Teresa. Oh, I'll have to check that out later. Yay! Jen got her bowl. And I got my turmeric root. All excited. Hi, Faye. Canning chicken and cooking supper. Cool. So, yeah, he's going to go out and just double check and make sure that Justin isn't doing something out there in his trailer. Sometimes he forgets what time we go on, and, you know, I try to tell him stay offline when we're doing this, but he forgets sometimes. So, and we are hardwired in, so it's the best we can do. But anyway, I won't get too far into it until he gets back, so s'mores. Oh, yeah, not that kind of marshmallow. However, I have found a way to make some herbal tea that tastes a lot like marshmallow by using marshmallow leaf, peppermint leaf, and a little bit of vanilla extract. That's kind of what I did tonight, but I didn't put any peppermint in it. But it does have cinnamon, so it's pretty good. So anyway, anyways, that's the fillers instead of the ums these days. Awakening Smith. Sorry. Okay. All right. So sorry for the dead airspace.
So I snuck in here without the dogs going ballistic.
You did. Good for you. The dogs are both sleeping.
How stealthy.
Nice. One's sleeping in front of the fire and the other one's sleeping in the crate. So, sorry, Tim. No s'mores tonight. So, anyway, so now that we're a few minutes in, I'm going to go ahead and show everybody this beautiful bowl that Mr. Rain turned today. See, I actually love this little thing right here. That was obviously a knot. Let's see if I can get it to where you can see it better. There you go.
I like to leave the little imperfections that nature kind of gives us, you know. So, as you can see, there's
I love the knots.
little cracks where it's dry in here. That just kind of adds to it. And that was a loose knot. And you can see knot here, just a regular limb coming out of the tree there. Yeah, I just turned this today.
Hi, James.
That was out of a tree out of our yard we took.
And the smell is amazing. This was the Asian cedar. We didn't know what that tree was for a long time until we had the guy come take it out. And we thought it was a type of spruce, like a weeping spruce. It was actually an Asian cedar, and as soon as he cut into it, then it was like, oh, you can tell. It's got a little bit different of a cedar smell, but it's
yeah, it doesn't sound. It's not like the western red cedar we have around here. It's not quite as sweet a smell.
It's beautiful.
Of course, some of the western red cedar around here has a little bit more. Some of it's a real sweet smell. Some it has a little more pungent type smell, especially when you go to the yellow cedar. That's a real rare cedar that we have around here. You don't see much of it, but it's got a little more of a pungent, or I don't know if pungent's the right word, but it's not as sweet as some of the more western red cedar we have.
So it's funny you mentioned that flying. I actually showed this in a video I just did, my last craft time chat. Patrick made this for me last year using the natural. This was already, what was this here?
It was part of a root in there, so it was in an indentation in the wood, so I set that up to where that would accommodate her yarn. So when I turned that, I wasn't quite sure whether or not the bowl would fly apart at a high velocity or not. So yeah, I put armor on and went ahead and turned it. It ended up turning out.
I love it. So yeah, that's my yarn bowl. And I use it quite a bit. I love it. So yeah, like I said, I just did a video, or put a video up yesterday showing that off, because I was actually using it at the time. So anyway, JM
was asking about the finishes for the bowls. All the bowls I've been finishing lately, it's just been with tree wax.
Well, she just got hers in today.
Oh.
Hers just arrived, the one we shipped to her.
Okay, well yours is done with tree wax, but you can put a stain on them if you want, and then put a polyurethane or tung oil, or linseed oil. You can put different oils on them. I kind of like putting the tree wax on them because it's kind of a natural. It really brings out the natural.
I better not check that, Teresa, because we're red right now. I'm hoping everybody can still see us, and we have to just try to do as little online as possible. Any new page I try to open up is just going to slow it down even more. So beeswax, pen makes me mad.
No, it's called tree wax.
Yeah, it's actually called tree wax. TREW, just one E, WAX.
Yeah, I've had that same wax for 128 years. So ever since I was a young guy, I bought it and been using the same one ever since. White and yellow pine. We have white and yellow pine here. We're not really high enough for that. You have to go a little closer to the eastern side of the state for more of the pine.
I keep forgetting I can type this stuff in. So
Up
there
high
it is.
We'll have
That's how it's spelled.
we might have a pine or two, but it's very rare.
TREWAX. Is it a brand name?
No, matter of fact, I can go run and get the container, and you might
I
be
know
able
I
to see the
linked to
letter.
it somewhere.
You might be able to see the lettering on it because it's just dirty.
Yeah, it's showing red on my end. I honestly don't think it's going to do me any good to stop and start over, but we'll wait. If it completely freezes over and nobody's getting much of anything, then I'll try starting over. I expected this was going to happen after Big Bear Show and Simply Circus. They were having the same exact issues, and we have these issues anyway because it's just the nature of our internet, but I expected it would probably be worse tonight. Very funny. Thank you, Teresa. Okay, so it might be a combination of our internet and other people's internet. If your internet's bad and our internet's bad, then it's going to make it doubly worse. And Mima, thanks for reminding me to smile. I tell you what, all of my life, my just normal, relaxed face, people have always thought I was mad. And I didn't get it until, I like see stuff like this of me. I go back and watch and say, whoa, I do look mad. And I'm really not. It actually used to make me mad. I used to end up getting mad because it's like, would you people quit? I'm not mad. Now I am. Thanks, Mima. No, it's just, when I'm just spacing off or if I'm serious, I look mean and scary, but I don't mean to. So it's not my intention. So he's getting that tree wax. And then we'll start talking the little bit I know about Marshmallow. Like I said, I'm just excited about the Marshmallow because this was my first year really getting a good crop of marshmallow plants. And of course you can see on either side of the screen there, that's the Marshmallow. And in fact, I have another, I've shown it in other, where's the doohickey here? Let me find it. I'll show another one that's more close up. Right there, you can get a better shot, close-up shot of the flower. It still looks like it's mostly white, which it is, but when you see it in real life, you'll notice it has a very light purplish or lavender color to it. It's just a beautiful, very delicate flower. And I just love it. So.
BC Truck asks, what's with all the anger?
Yeah, yeah.
I keep her mad all the time. I always push her buttons.
No doubt, Grizz. Yeah. We won't talk about that.
So, here's that tree wax.
Yeah, you're right. I think that can is 128 years old.
So, tree wax. Basically what this is for floor finishing, but I figure wood, it works out pretty good. So it, let's see, who makes this stuff?
Oh.
What's BC doing?
Oh, he's being good.
What did you do?
Did you have anything else? You sound like
no, that's it. Yeah,
so that's
want
it.
to see that, so.
If you want to know, I'm sure that if you were to go, I did put a link to it in one of I think the bowl video, the turning a wood bowl video, a link to the tree wax on Amazon so you can see what it looks like new. So anyway, and there we are. All right, I'm going to go ahead and you've got your notepad and all that ready to take questions because I'm going to talk a little bit about the Marshmallow. Now that we're 10 minutes past, or what does it say here? 13 minutes on my computer into the show. So, what I've been using it for personally is just an addition for whatever. I haven't actually used it for any real medicinal purposes, though it has many. I've been adding it to my soaps, the leaves. So this year I didn't harvest any of my roots yet because I want my plants to get well established. I think they need to be well established for a few years before you start harvesting the roots. And but the leaves and the flowers you can harvest. And the leaves and the flowers, the whole plant's pretty much edible, but most of the medicinal benefits are in the leaves and in the roots. And so I gotta move my cursor here. It keeps, there we go. So I harvested a lot of the leaves, and that's what I used to make my tea tonight, was the dried leaves. But during the summer I made just excellent tea using the fresh leaves and the fresh peppermint, and it was so good. And then having it iced, oh, even better. But the leaves are very, very soft. They're like velvet, and it's just a wonderful plant to grow even if you never use it because it's beautiful. It gets really tall. Well, I think it can get up to 10 feet tall. I think, I'm not sure, but I know it can get taller than me. And yes, I know that's not saying much when you're only 5'0", but still, it's a good tall plant. And anyway, so what else did I use it for? Oh, now Marshmallow root I have used, not my own, but root that I bought at Mountain Rose Herbs, and I've used that to make actually make marshmallows, but I still used some natural beef gelatin in the marshmallows, but I made homemade marshmallows, and they're actually pretty easy to make, but it takes a really long time of blending, or mixing. I mean, not blending, mixing. So, and I don't have what's the big fancy, a KitchenAid. They're beautiful, and sometimes I think I want one, but because I'm all about trying to do as many things by hand as possible, I just don't want another big huge thing taking up my counter space. And the only thing I'd probably ever use it for is to make marshmallows, and that's rare because no one around here really eats marshmallows that much. But the homemade marshmallows, I'll tell you, are awesome. Using marshmallow root, I can't remember, honey, and you can make a good healthy marshmallow, seriously. And it's so good. Tastes way better than the store-bought stuff that's nothing but garbage. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I did print off these notes from herbwisdom.com, and I'm just going to read the parts I highlighted. So, because I don't want to bore you reading the whole thing, because you can go look this up. And again, that is herbwisdom.com, and maybe Weetree can type that in for me. herbwisdom.com, and then look up marshmallow or marshmallow root. And again, I'm just reading the highlighted section so you can know what the medicinal properties on that. So, or BC or anyone else that's a moderator in here tonight. Marshmallow has a soothing effect on inflamed membranes in the mouth, throat when ingested orally, specifically a sore throat. It's good for a dry cough. It's very soothing to all the mucus, to the mucous membrane all throughout the whole body, from the time it enters your mouth and it comes back out the other side. It's extremely soothing. So any kind of digestive issues anyone has, it's going to be very, very beneficial to you. But it does more than that. So think about things more serious like Crohn's disease and stomach ulcers, heartburn.
Can you turn your mic up a little bit?
Oh, maybe, it's funny, I actually turned it up a little bit. Let me set it up here and see if that helps. Let me know if that helps at all. I don't want to be blasting. I noticed on the replay of last week's show it sounded really muffly, and so I don't know if it's because I got a cheap mic. Maybe I need to invest in a more expensive one. I wanted to start off with a cheap one to see if we even if this was something we're going to keep doing.
See if anybody's interested in keeping us on.
Yeah. And then we can invest in a nicer one down the road if this is something people still want us to keep doing. So anyway, so let me read this again. So digestive disorders, heartburn, indigestion, ulcerative colitis, stomach ulcers, and Crohn's disease. Okay. All right. Sorry. I'm trying to keep up, make sure. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. All right. Awesome. And then marshmallow extract is sometimes added to creams and used to treat inflammatory skin conditions such as eczema and contact dermatitis. And so I had found that out a while back, and that's why it's one of the many herbs I add to my shampoo, my homemade shampoo, and my homemade herbal blend for my soaps. And I'm hoping to also try it along with the calendula oil when I make my next batch of skin cream. It's actually from Africa, but it is a mallow that prefers marshy areas. So thus the name, marshmallow. And we're pretty cold and wet here, and though this was the first year I really got it going, it was more just trying to get it, because anytime you start an herb from seed, it's a little bit of trial and error. But then once you get the plants established, they will just keep coming back. They are perennial, so they'll keep coming back from the roots, and they readily self-seed. So I'm missing the funny stuff, but that's probably good because I will get distracted. So I'm not going to read all the technical stuff because that's something I think you should go read yourself. But I just want to hit on these key points. So there's a few more things. So it also helps reduce inflammation. And obviously it's really important. A lot of us have inflammation issues of any kind, and That's one of the key problems that we're having that are causing all these other health disorders that we're having. Disorders or dis-ease. There's really no, I think there's not really much about disease. I mean, as far as being, a lot of these things they label as diseases, I don't think they're really diseases. I think it's a sign of your body is in dis-ease, and so you need to find the root of the problem. So just like hypothyroidism is a symptom, so is fibromyalgia. A lot of this is my personal opinion, from what I've been learning, and so is Crohn's disease, dis-ease. Okay, any suggestions on using it for the skin conditions? Like I said, I'm going to try making it like an infused oil, but you can also make an extract out of it. Try making a tea out of it and using it that way. It is a mallow, Faye. I don't know if mallows are related to hibiscus. I am not an herbalist. I'm just saying this. All I'm sharing with you is what I've been learning along the way to help get us on the path to better health. So Weetree knows a lot, so she can help out with a lot of that. I'm sure she knows way more than I do. Sorry, Patrick, I'm not helping. I was trying to help.
No, you're not.
Sorry.
You're not helping, dear.
So
I'm writing all these questions down and getting like pencil arthritis or whatever you want to find it. And as soon as I get done writing down the question, she reads it and then she'll answer it. It's all good though.
Did you see what Grizz said there?
What did he say?
About you?
So,
anyway, but because anything that reduces inflammation is also going to help speed healing. So, that was the other point. Let's see. The roots and the leaves of the marshmallow are the parts most commonly used medicinally. I already said that. Tincture is the preferred form for treatment of sore throats and dry coughs. For stomach ulcers and indigestion, tea works well. And I guess that was it. Those were the main points I wanted to hit on the marshmallow. So if I remember, I will try to go to what's her name again? Another page I like to go to, and it was where I got the initial marshmallow recipe. Darn it, what's her name? Wellness Mama. If you go to Wellness Mama, yeah, and Mountain Rose Herbs is where I got my marshmallow root. You can also get it on Amazon. The price comes out to be about the same. I was comparing yesterday because I would like to get some more root, because I think I might even let my marshmallow sit in the ground for another year before I harvest the root. So I think I'm going to buy another bag, and I'm trying to decide if I want to do the organic ones from Amazon or Mountain Rose Herbs. The price is pretty much the same. I think I'm going to go with Mountain Rose Herbs again, because I only have, oh, here it is. Here's what I have left of my marshmallow root. So obviously, as you can probably figure out, it has a gelatinous property to it, thus why it can works well in making marshmallows. But so anyway, Wellness Mama, if you go to Wellness Mama's website, she has a lot of amazing recipes for all kinds of stuff, including all natural marshmallows. And she even uses probiotics in hers just to make them that much more healthy. And it's a great recipe. It's very tasty. And but you really got to let them sit out and dry for a few days if you want to try to roast with them, because they're very, very soft. They're not like the kind you buy in the store and they'll just fall off the stick. We tried. Didn't work too good. So what do you guys store your herbs in? I store most of my herbs in glass jars, like canning jars. If they come in Mylar bags, like a lot of the ones I prefer to buy are like the Frontier brand and the Star West Botanicals, and I always look for organic. If that's not the one, I'm talking about the ones I buy, the ones that I'm not already growing a lot of. And then I'll typically just leave them in the Mylar bags. But the ones that I grow and dry myself, I keep them in, I keep them in jars, not usually this size. This was just, that was all I had left, and so I stuck it in this little jar. But my let me show you. I just opened up a jar of marshmallow. Sorry, be right back.
Dead airspace. Hope your eye's okay.
Did I put something out?
No, we got Dee coming back. She had surgery, and she says she's watching us with one eye.
Oh wow. Oops, there goes my stuff. Okay, so I just keep them in a canning jar like this. Some of them I put in quart-sized jars. Some of them, like the marshmallow leaves. This is the leaves and the flowers. You can kind of see, like, you might be able to see some of the flowers in there, like over here. And then I use that brake bleeder to seal it up. So I just opened that jar today, so I haven't had a chance to put one of my cool looking lids on it.
How high does how high does marshmallow get?
It gets at least 5 feet tall, and it seems like I read somewhere it can get as tall as 10 feet. I think one of my plants got 6 feet, and they're still fairly young plants. They will die completely back. Like mine are all died down right now. There's nothing to be seen anymore except for a couple of them. But then they'll come back with a vengeance in the next year, and they'll just keep spreading, like a lot of perennials will do. There was something else. Maybe it was another question.
Will you be making a demonstration on how to make tinctures?
I actually have a video out on that, Sissy.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a video how to make tinctures and extracts. And I typically use vinegar to make mine. People most commonly will use a high proof alcohol, 80 to 100 proof. So like rum, vodka, that kind of stuff, because it's going to draw the most nutrients and medicinal properties out of the herb. I use vinegar so that I don't have to pay, the high price for alcohol. I make my own vinegar, so it's pretty much free. It's healthier, and I just let it sit for longer than I would if I was going to use the alcohol.
Do we sell the seeds?
Okay, are we gone?
Hello.
Somebody asked if we went off air. Okay, are we
here?
Are we still here? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Okay, Tim is the one that's saying he sees nothing, but it could just be him, so I need to find out if...
let us know if we're still live. We're showing red, and there was a question of whether or not Tim Beverly asked if we went off the air. So
okay, is the same family as okra, hollyhock, and okay, thanks, Faye. Okay, thanks, Faye. In the book that I recommended. I couldn't find anything about marshmallow in there, but I might have missed it. So okay, good. Thank you, people. I'm sorry. I'm really not as with it tonight. There was another question. Somebody was.
I got a couple. Do we sell the seeds?
Oh, the seeds. Not yet. Maybe next year. I didn't collect. I should have collected seed this year. I just didn't even think about it, because I'm like, no need to save seed for next year because I'm not going to have any problem. It's already self-seeding. Same thing with the borage. I only thought to collect some borage seed this year because I knew there was a couple people interested. But anyway, next year I'll try to make sure to save seeds. However, I got my original seed from Baker Creek. So rareseeds.com is where I got the original marshmallow seed.
So
look, we're green again.
What family is marshmallow associated with? I
think Faye answered that. So she
Okay.
said that it is related to the hollyhock. I got a splinter in my finger from the firewood earlier.
And let's see.
Okay.
Pencilitis, is there a herb for that?
I don't know. Was that a joke? What is
I
that?
don't know. I have no idea.
I was going to show you where the, oh, here it is. So this book, you can actually find good herb books used on Amazon or garage sales. Now this exact one is available on Amazon used, obviously, because this is 1976 in Zone 8A, which is, Faye, you must be very similar to us. We are also in Zone 8, but we're very maritime. So, yeah, very wet. Anyway, there's also an updated 2000 version of this book, and I linked to it in the video I put up this morning. I linked to that and to this one here. I'm not sure if this one, they even make new ones. They make the paperback one new, I believe. But this is a really good one. Page 166. And you know, I went and put that book away just to get it out of my way. I had it out here and I thought, why couldn't I find it? I could not find it earlier. You know, it's probably because I'm only doing like 1,000 different things at once. So, and I can't wait to show you the beautiful skirt I just finished for Stacy. I'm not going to show it to you yet because I kind of want to surprise. I want her, she knows it's coming, obviously, but I kind of wanted to surprise her with how it looks. So I don't want to show anyone until she gets it.
Well, you could show them if she's not on.
Yeah, but
here.
They could be lurking.
Are you guys out there?
Yeah.
Doug and Stacy?
We're in Washington State. So, and again, Washington State is not all wet like people think. We happen to live in the wet area, but it makes up only a very small part of Washington. Most of Washington is actually has very dry, hot summers. There's in fact, an area I grew up in, or I lived for a couple of years, is pretty much like desert, very flat, very dry. But I spent most of my years growing up right along the Columbia River. So it was, I'm in a state of confusion. I'm sure I am. That sounds a lot like me. Anyway, I didn't want to reveal the skirt yet because I'm actually I have it hanging up on the clothesline over here because I like to try to go over my skirts with a fine-tooth comb before I send them off to people and trim off the threads and make sure there's no mistakes and fix them and all that kind of stuff. But I will show you the crochet set I was working on the other day. That's going up for sale here pretty soon. So these are the little mitts with the little wooden buttons that Patrick made from one of our trees. So that's the mitts, and then this is the scarf. It's an infinity scarf. There's a zillion and one ways you can wear it. And then I made a tie that you can remove and just wear the thing loose, you know, and you just throw it over like this. You can even pull it up like a hood and wear it like that. So however you want to wear it, that's what's kind of cool. But that's what I really like about the infinity scarves is they have so many different ways you can wear them, and then they don't.
I wouldn't personally wear
slide
one.
Off.
But,
So, I actually don't have one for myself. One of these days I'll actually make one for me. But then again, you know, I don't know how to really wear it. Thank you, Amanda.
So, Flying VS Farm was asking earlier, I did catch some of these questions. Any suggestions on using it for skin conditions?
For the what? For the
marshmallow?
Yes. Yes, that was one of the things I read. It's really good for eczema, you know, just pretty much any kind of dermatitis. And what did it say there? Did it say specifically which way? I think a lot of places will put it into the skin creams. And I'm planning on making another infused oil. Like I've got the calendula infused oil going, and I want to make a marshmallow infused oil. And then use both of those in the skin cream that I make. I'm getting close to the point where I'm going to want to make some more skin cream because I'm starting to run low. And once I do, I'll make a video of that so people can see how I make mine. But Rosemary Gladstar in her book, she has, I think it's that book, she has a really good recipe in there where she actually, once she has it made, she actually puts it in a blender and whips it up, and so that would give it a better texture. I don't do that. I just melt it, and it works fine for me. I like it that way. I hate cleaning out blenders, you know, when it's stuff like that. So, okay, was there any other questions? And you know what, it doesn't have to be about marshmallow. We don't have to keep talking about that because again, I don't know tons, and most of what I read, I just started growing it and using it, and I love it. It makes a lovely tea, especially if you blend it with the peppermint and the vanilla. It's so yummy.
So earlier, Barbara wrote, what herbs should a homesteader grow?
All right, so grow them all. Grow as many as you can.
Any and all.
Because here's the thing, even all of your culinary herbs, and I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to say this tonight. Your thyme, your oregano, your sage, these all have, lavender is a culinary herb. You can use the I use the leaves quite often in cooking. The leaves do not taste like the flowers. The flowers have a very perfumey taste. I personally don't care for the taste of the flowers, but the leaves, I love the taste of the leaves, and they taste yummy in soups and on pastas and in sauces and all kinds of stuff. But what I was starting to say is that all of those herbs, so let's say you're just growing it for culinary purposes, well, they all have lots and lots of medicinal properties. So you're getting like a 2-for-1. You're growing it to season your food, and you're growing it to help with with a lot of different health issues. Now, I don't know if Permaculture Homestead is in here tonight, but he was talking about a thyme tincture that he makes, and I would like to try that this next year. I'm hoping next year I'll have a really good, I only just started dehydrating my own thyme this year, and I didn't get a lot because it was one of those things I kept moving around trying to find just the right place, and I finally got it this year. So next year I should have a pretty good crop of thyme. I love thyme, especially thyme leaves and lavender leaves sprinkled on a pasta or rice or something. Oh man, so good.
So we have a complaint.
Okay, a complaint?
Yes.
No doubt.
Cat Lover says,
Cat lover.
we have thumbnails for quilts, but you don't have any quilting videos.
I have not gotten that far yet. Really?
Just kidding, Cat Lover.
I've been, I actually had somebody ask me today if I'd do a video on how to make the patch or the rag quilt. This is a rag quilt. I love the denim quilts. Pat doesn't like the rag style as much as the traditional style. I started doing these a year or so ago just for fun because I wanted to try it, and I like both. I just like stuff like that. And I don't know if you saw my video where I did the rag style purse. The one of my purses has these exact same colors. I used all the same fabric, and then the other one's the one that I showed in that video. It was the one about the wood buttons. So maybe eventually I'll get to that. Really, I've only had my YouTube channel going for what, 2 months or something, and I've got a long list of videos, long list, and I still have to get my part 2 of the crochet one, how to crochet, up soon. It's there. I just got to get it uploaded. But I have all these cooking ones that, of stuff I made last week. A chicken pot pie made with a biscuit top instead of a standard pie crust. That was a new one for me. So, okay, did I have a question here? Yeah, and cat liver, I might do that someday. It'll probably have to be down the road. I want to get some more on the crochet ones out and stuff too. And I did want to, and maybe I shouldn't ask this now, but Teresa, I was wondering how those fires were going over there in your area. So I just wanted you to know I was praying for you last night. Oh, and let's remember to pray for Cherish from Hope's Homestead and her family, because they had a death in the family.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there's Brad. Okay, I'm just gonna look for the all caps. Patrick's watching too.
What do you call a mama cow that delivers her baby? Is that a question for
Decaffeinated. And Suburban Hillbilly, I saw the quilt that you put up on your cover photo, and it's beautiful. I don't know if I said that yet. Yeah, usually I'm just kind of running around do, but very beautiful. Yeah, so again, yeah, remember to pray for Cherish. You know, and a lot, I said this last week, but it does sure seem like a lot of people are just coming under fire. A lot of people within this group. I don't know if it's just coincidence or what's going on, but it just seems like we're all being hit hard by a lot of things lately. I know it seems like it's for us, as soon as we get past one issue, there's something else big that comes up. So, anyway, so let's just keep each other, all y'all, in prayer.
The challenge is fun.
I was actually thinking about doing a Farmer Meemaw impersonation tonight, but I don't know, I'll botch it. But I really like it when she does that. Y'all, you know, y'all, I just got cornbread all over, or whatever. It makes me smile every time I watch her. She does that.
Is she in here?
She was in here. I'm not sure if she's still here. Yes, yes. Okay, so any other, Susan, it's, yeah.
Huh?
I feel that way.
What are you talking about?
Anyway, no rain. How's the solar system? Daniel's asking.
Not so good. It's that time of year where it's raining and dark all the time, and we've pretty much got just enough power to run the inverter.
Yeah.
We run small things like we can run computers and LED lights, string lights, and different things like that, just for comfort lighting, if you will. But yeah, it's this time of year it's pretty much on standby. When the weather, like on today, like today, we had clear weather, and I'm not sure how much power we actually produced, but we
yeah, I'm not southern. I don't fit in.
we can still run some things when the weather,
unfortunately,
when the weather's clear out here on days like today. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go check to see how much power we made today, Mama.
Oh, okay. He's gonna go check. So, I'm sorry. I really sometimes really wish I was southern. I'm sorry. I come from the north and I'm a Yankee. I don't agree with the Yankees, but just so you know, I actually learned a little bit about history on my own and found out the truth. Yeah. So, just so you know.
We actually made 5.2 kilowatts today.
Sorry.
All right, tell me what's going on.
No, nothing. Just so there's that on the solar. I don't know if there was anything else. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, or any other questions about solar for Mr. Rain or Wood Bowls or? Okay, see what time it is. Okay, I want to keep track of the time because last time it seems like I get talking too much and I forget. Okay, sorry. Who told you the truth? It's called going out and reading things, and not just one place, but reading a lot of things and listening to things and people that are willing to actually teach the truth, which isn't going to happen in the public school.
Well, and listen to reason too. Just don't go to one source, and
yeah,
we got to do a little bit of discernment and throw a little logic in there. Daniel says, "Wow." Is that in reference to the power?
Yeah, he says that's very little. And it is. In the summertime, total opposite. We get a lot in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
But this is when you consider where we live. And I said this before, we only get 113 clear days on average per year. And we just don't get a lot of sun. That's why I call ourselves rain country. And I've said it a zillion times. People are probably tired of hearing it, but we get anywhere from 120 to 160 inches of rain per year.
And another thing too, Daniel, my solar panels are facing east.
Yes.
And they are mounted on a 4 or a 512 pitch. So that's not the optimal direction. I figure, the question came up, well, why don't you put them on a rotating stand or something like that? That's, as far as space is concerned, we didn't fool around with that. I just said, well, put up more panels.
Yeah.
That would save the hassle of purchasing or even building a stand that would take up room in our yard, which is kind of precious to us because we don't want to shade our garden area. So there are a couple more areas out in the yard that I'm considering putting more solar panels and to help augment our setup right now. So
I started my marshmallow from seed. And then JM had a really good question, other self-seeding herbs you recommend. Feverfew, self-seeds, extremely easy. That's your painkiller. I don't know yet how well catnip reseeds, but it is a perennial, and so is feverfew. Borage, extremely readily self-seeds. So does woolly lamb's ear. The thing that's great about your herbs is most of them are either going to be perennial and or easily self-seed. I mean, I love herbs. Basil is the only one that I don't know how well it reseeds. It self-seeds because I'm not. I love basil, and it's taken me, because of where we're at, several years to try to find the perfect way for us personally to grow basil in our little area, and we have to do it in the greenhouse in pots. We can't do it in the greenhouse in the ground. We can't do it outside in the ground. We can't do it outside in pots. We have to do it in the greenhouse in pots that are lifted up. Otherwise I won't get any basil. So maybe somebody can answer the question about how well basil self-seeds, because I really don't know. I got most of it harvested before it, because I was harvesting it and not letting it go to seed. I bought, there is a beef gelatin. There's a few different brands you can get. Because of where we're at, I literally do buy a lot of stuff from Amazon. Yeah, I know it's going to reseed, Susan. Most things do. I just don't. The question is things that easily self-seed. Some things will seed. Everything's going to go to seed, but how well does it reseed and replant itself and spread? That's kind of the question. I don't know if that's making any sense. Basil goes crazy here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I wish it did here. I love basil. It's just basil does, and cilantro does not do real well in our area either. That's why I'm going to finally try. I've tried that several different places, and we're just not a good climate for either basil or cilantro. But I'm going to try popolo next year, because I think an American homestead, I think even though they get far less rain than we do, I think they have somewhat of a similar climate in certain ways. So there was another question. I thought, okay, I thought there was.
I was busy typing, so
yeah, no, I thought there was somebody that. Yeah, you could give me cilantro, Susan, but I don't think it's gonna make a difference. I've tried a couple different varieties. I've tried planting it. The best I got was the year I planted it out in the main garden, and pretty much all it did was bolt and give me a lot of coriander, which is great. I like coriander, but I need the leaves for making my salsa, so I'm gonna do popolo.
So here's a plug for Go for Green Living. He's got a pretty neat video on a solar charge controller for pretty cheap. So I'm interested in buying one at Go for Green Living. I can't believe how cheap it is. So anyways, Daniel,
Susan.
Go for Green Living. There you go.
Okay, and there was something I was going to say about about our weather too. And here's the other thing. Another reason we don't have a lot of power collected right now is, though we did get a fairly clear day, it was filled up with certain trails, so that kind of helped make it darker when we finally get a clear day. But we had a good number of days of just cloud and rain, cloud and rain, cloud and rain. And when you have too many in a row, it's like there's very little we can do with our solar power. So that's another reason why for us, so summertime, no problem, we can run everything on solar. even if we have several days of rain. But this is why I'm still working on other things to do that are totally off grid, that do not require even solar power. Like our whole laundry system, and anything I can do by hand, running the egg beater. I have one of those, and if I need an egg beater, that's what I use. I very rarely ever use my electric one. In fact, I don't know when the last time was I used an electric one. Right now I'm still using an electric blender, but I would like to find a hand crank blender that worked really well, that wasn't made of plastic, preferably.
I need to make a correction. I get myself in trouble.
Uh-oh, what did he say? Yeah.
Daniel said cheap. Don't mean cheaply made. Inexpensive.
Exactly. I do that too. I always say cheap when I mean inexpensive. So, and some things are cheap, and some things are.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it if I didn't trust the integrity of those guys. So, yeah. Anyhow, go ahead, Mom.
Yeah, we heat with wood, fuel a generator with wood gas. We'd kind of looked a little bit into that. We've got a lot of different ideas brewing. And so it's just, everything is a process, and finding out what's going to work best for us, and especially in the way our home is set up. We're also thinking about possibly down the road, if we stay here instead of buying property and going with an off-grid cabin somewhere else, maybe putting in, taking the old dance room / dojang, which now I have to refer to as a great room, because it's no longer a dance room, it's no longer a dojang, but maybe even putting a rocket mass heater in there. I think that would be cool, and it's a big room. It's, how many feet is it? I forget. I should know.
1,200 square feet.
Yeah. So now it's my everything else room.
Yeah, it's a balance between, well, you want to save money, or do you want to buy more stuff?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we really want to get that off-grid property someday, but with so many different things going on, and seeing what's going on in the world, sometimes we kind of feel like we want to hunker down and just kind of keep hardening what we have here, and getting ourselves as self-reliant as possible right where we're at. So very funny, Grizz. We don't do Taco Bell. We don't do fast food. We very rarely eat at any restaurant. So all right, my question keeps disappearing. SG, I'm sorry. Yeah, if it's disappearing, obviously I'm not seeing it. Just keep trying to repost. What I do know, though, is if you try to post too many things too... Okay, when you make homemade vinegar from flowers and herbs, yes, but it also smells quite a bit like the flowers and the herbs. So, I mean, vinegar is still going to smell like vinegar. Vinegar is always going to smell like vinegar no matter what you make it out of, but some has a better smell. Like, to me, the raisin vinegar has the best aroma to it. The lavender, rose, the floral one I make for washing my hair with has a very strong lavender smell, but it still smells very strongly of vinegar. But once you rinse it out of your hair's not going to smell like vinegar. It's going to leave behind more especially once your hair is dry, it's going to leave behind more the floral scent. Pineapple's a really good one too. I've noticed my hair still kind of smelling like pineapple after washing it with the pineapple vinegar. So, okay, I'm hoping I'm not missing anything really important.
We can move to Daniel's house.
We can move to Daniel's house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he would just love that.
Well, he said we're welcome there.
Honestly, though, if it wasn't for our kids, I tell you, I would really like to move over somewhere else sometimes. But our boys are here, and I want to stay close to our nucleus.
Well, I tell you, I was kind of raised Southern, so
he was.
That's.
Remember, his dad was from North Carolina.
Yeah, so most of the folks that come on here from the South, and I can relate to y'all.
Yeah, SG, it won't smell like vinegar. Yeah, I mean, it'll smell like vinegar when you're using it, but not once it's all. Yeah, just like if you use vinegar for cleaning, it'll stink, but once it's all dry, you're not gonna smell it anymore, and it will take all any other stinky smells with it. That's what's great. So, which one does Mr. Brain like? He doesn't. He doesn't care. Oh, I wanted. While I'm thinking about it.
So you should actually, when they're asking the question, because when people come back to watch the video later, they're gonna be kind of confused as to
Yeah,
what you're.
especially tonight. I'm a little disjointed tonight. Sorry, people. I'm really. It's been a rough week. The vinegar. Somebody asked me. I think it was when I was on Full Spectrum Survival, and he was asking me what all things you use your vinegar for. And one thing I forgot to mention, as I wasn't expecting the question, I wasn't ready for it, is any bread that I make, any bread, I don't care what it is. I make all my own breads, from tortillas to yeast breads to cinnamon rolls and egg roll wraps and all that kind of stuff. Any bread that I'm making, I put vinegar in. Every single one, especially if it's something that's going to rise. Biscuits, it'll make the bread healthier, and it will also, especially if it's a bread that rises, it will help it rise better, and it will keep it fresh longer. So, but it won't make your bread taste like vinegar. You only use like a tablespoon or two. So that homemade vinegar is really good in using in your homemade breads. So, okay, I'm looking for more questions. I think yeah. Okay, so sorry. I know people are gonna come back and watch this and they're not gonna know what I'm reading. I'm sorry. I'm not as with it tonight, people. I apologize. I thought there was more stuff I was gonna talk about, and I don't remember what it was now. So I was really hoping. I was really hoping that there would be some more. My papa swore by apple cider vinegar and garlic. When yeah, here's something else I used to do with our herbs. So we can come back to herbs. That goes with the vinegar. Is I was making our own, basically multivitamin tincture, is what I was calling it, using dandelion leaves and just a whole bunch of herbs, oregano, just whatever I could throw in there that I knew that was high in minerals and all that kind of stuff. And then I was using the vinegar as the as the solvent to pull out the all that stuff. And then we were taking that in the morning, a little bit in the morning, as a as our multivitamin. But after a while, some days it just got to be like, I can't do this today. It wasn't horrible, but some days you just get tired of it. So I always try to mix stuff like that up, and I find that making herbal teas, especially in the wintertime, works best for us to get all that goodness. So we're going to have to close it up. Big Family Homestead is on next, and I'm sorry I wasn't quite as smooth tonight, but I do hope that I got to some good questions, and answered all the important questions and got a little bit more information about herbs and how to grow them in the marshmallow, and look this stuff up, because there's so much. There's so much I cannot cover it in one show. But look up the marshmallow. I'm just loving it. It has a beautiful smell. It's beautiful in your garden, and it's just a great herb. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get off here so we don't overlap onto Big Family Homestead's Tech Talk. And then don't forget, Full Spectrum Survival is on after them. So, and I will figure out what next week. Oh yes, next week. No show next week. We have family over. We're having Thanksgiving dinner, and hopefully you're with family too. So I hope you all have a great holiday. And thanks for being here with us tonight. Take care. God bless.
Thanks for stopping by.